Welcome back to Daybreak Extra on the Trust TV. It is the top of the hour, and we've been having so much fun right here in the studio, just kicking it. And Dashin is actually having a wonderful time as well.
Meaning?
Are you not?
Allow me to say it at least. Why are you speaking on my behalf?
You won't say it. You won't say it. I know you won't say it. That's why I'm bringing it up.
I'm actually having a swell time.
Exactly.
Now
You're having an absolutely fantastic time.
Oh,
actually,
thanks to you. Yeah.
You are having a blast.
Okay.
that is exactly what's going on right now. You're actually having a blast on Daybreak Extra today. All right. So right now it's time for us to move on to the next segment of the program, and of course we are going to be talking to a guest that we actually have right here in the studio, and we're going to talk about the music industry. Basically, that's what we're going to talk about. Not true entertainment entirely, but let's focus on the music side of it. So it has undergone a lot of changes in recent times, and when we're no longer talking about CD sales anymore, we're talking about streaming numbers and all that. I mean, like a couple of years ago, you didn't know what a Spotify is. A lot of people right now don't know what cassette tapes actually are.
Oh, yeah,
I remember when you used to go to recording studios with a list, and people, you have to do a mixtape and all that. But it doesn't happen like that right now. So, and also, the process of how to become a professional musician is actually different than what it used to be because of all the changes that are actually going on right now. So, and there are lots of opportunities now in the music industry, not just becoming a musician. You have lots of other things that you can do when it comes to that particular value chain. So we're going to talk about this and a lot more, because we actually have an artist right here in the studio, a musician, and her name is Vicky, and she sings.
Vicky, aka Victoria Malcolm.
Yeah, so and Vicky sings.
Yes, that's the name. Vicky sings.
So
yes.
Welcome to Daybreak Extra.
Thank you so much.
On Trust TV.
Thank you.
All right, so you are a musician.
Yes, I am.
What kind of songs do you sing?
I sing, generally, I just really love music, and then I just love to put out, I think I would call myself someone who just really reads what's happening in society and what's happening in my life and try to translate it into music. That's like that's one way I can put what my music is. So generally, I'm a singer, songwriter, and a performing artist.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's what I do.
Singer, songwriter, performing artist.
Yep.
Oh, all right. So is it? How do you characterize your music? Is it R&B? Is it the blues? Is it bluegrass? Is it jazz?
I'll call it a fusion.
Oh.
A fusion of like R&B, Afro, just like a fusion of all of these things, because I feel like Afro music is really getting a lot of buzz right now. And as an African singer, someone who really believes in our culture and our sound, even if I have like the R&B sound to me, because those are the kind of songs I listened to growing up, I still want to find a way to fusion, Afro into it and just like present the music so our people and even people outside of Africa and Nigeria as a whole would be able to listen to our music, hear something they can relate to, but also understand where the music is coming from or where the sound is coming from. So it's a fusion of Afro, R&B, pop, just a fusion of all
Everything.
of that.
Okay, now talking about the fusion, isn't that kind of confusing?
Okay.
How simple is it to, just fuse these genres together?
Okay, so I think it's not confusing. I think primarily it's about understanding how music sounds work. Most producers and all of that, just really understanding how sounds work. Afrobeats has a sound. This R&B has a sound. You being able to come together and say, okay, I would sing something that sounds a little bit like R&B, but then I'm going to talk to a producer or like someone who works on music to find a way to fusion just the Afro side. You can do it in such a way that it's like, okay, I'm going to speak a little bit of pidgin in it, and then it makes it sound Afro. At the same time, there is that whole, if you get what I'm saying, you're also sounding a bit kind of like R&B and everything. So it's just like a fusion that's incorporating. A great example of Afrofusion is Adekunle Gold. When he started, he started with it sounds like pop, but then he adds the whole Yoruba language, Afro into it, and it sounds really beautiful. So yeah.
All right, so apart from the sound now, what makes your own different? I mean, just talked about Adekunle Gold right now, infusing the Yoruba sound to it, and we get that from a lot of artists, lots of Lagos artists doing the Yoruba thing and whatnot. What you have quite an interesting background.
I do.
Exactly. So does that does that influence what you how you put out your music?
Yes, it does influence my music. I think for me, it's really just beyond just the music itself, just the sound. It's how I grew up, the African experience, how I grew up as a person, as a young woman that I am today, how I grew up, my process, my story. It's kind of different from people from the West. It's definitely different from the Western world. So just having to infuse that into my music, and then yes, I think some of my songs have a little bit of Hausa, or they're one of these languages. In fact, I have a song in my native language, Ibira.
Okay.
So yes, but that's still in the making. So these are some of the things I'm trying to incorporate into my music just to stand out as an Afrofusion artist.
So how has the process been, being a musician in Nigeria?
Whew. Process. That's a very large, but then let's see how I can streamline it. It's not the easiest, but if it's really what you want to do, personally, I've always wanted to do music. And so like coming out of school, even in school, I was doing music back then, and I got out of school and I was like, you know what, music it is. Left Momsy's house, I'm like, I'm going to go and do music. And then I left, and then I started to work on my music. I think one of the crazy experiences is things evolve in music. I think that's the scary part. It's beautiful, it's adventurous, it's scary. It's like things evolve. There was a whole time when you needed like a whole lot of people. You need to meet this person. There were gatekeepers. There are still gatekeepers in the industry, but it's more like if you do something right as a singer, you put yourself out there on social media, you put yourself out there, do songs, do things that people can relate to, you now stand a chance. Back then, people have to scout for artists, go to concerts, scout for people. But then now, social media has given us the opportunity to just like sit down in your home, record yourself singing, put it out there. And so your followers, your numbers is actually what's going to give you an edge. And then from there on, you get people investing, coming to say, oh, what do you do? Want to invest in your music. So for me, it's been like that. It's just been me trying to put out more content, because that's what society is right now. Everybody's trying to consume content. So just really sitting back and saying, okay, what can I create? What can I put out there that will make people? And I really started out with covers, just the covers of artists, covers. If there's a new song, I try as much as I can to put out covers. Yes, it's not like all that, where exactly I want it to be yet, but I think with consistency, eventually I think you're going to win. And that's what it is, but that's been my process so far.
So you think it's actually easier to be an artist now than it was back in the days? In the days when we used to do mixtapes? I
think so. I think it depends, though. It depends. Back then, it worked for them because what happened is they had to work extra hard to get themselves to put out, give their demos out to executives and all of that. But then now, you could literally just sit in your house, do a cover,
record yourself singing,
and Don Jazzy sees you and he says, I want that girl. Do you understand? Or I want that voice. So that's what it is right now.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask how social media has actually, helped. Just some people would actually say it's done more damage than good. But what's your take on social media and, the music industry?
I think everything boils down to motive. Everything boils down to agenda. If social media is a tool, that's what it is. It's a tool. If you use it to your advantage, it would help you. If you use it to your disadvantage, you damage yourself and your career and whatever you're doing. So I think basically it's about knowing what to put out there, knowing what's necessary, because social media is very filtered. What we see on social media is not true. Not everything is true. So you can decide to say, I want people to see me in this light. And you follow that, and then that's what people would perceive you to be. But if you decide to make mistakes and be careless, or like whatever it is with your lifestyle or what you put out, that's how people will perceive you. So personally, I think social media is just a very great tool that we've invented, mankind has like invented, and it's an amazing thing. But how you use it goes a long way to determine what becomes of your career as an artist.
You're still staying on the social media thing. A lot of people think that now social media has actually made things easy for lots of people to put themselves out there.
Yeah.
You do content, you put it out there. A lot of people actually believe that now social media has opened up the space so much that the music industry now is becoming so saturated that every day you have a new artist coming up. How is that good or bad for the industry?
It depends.
Okay.
It depends. It's okay. So the music industry, like I said, has been kept for the longest time. What happens now is gatekeeping evolves like how to manage these things now evolves. Yes, everybody's now doing music, it's oversaturated. But the beauty about social media is you have your crowd.
Okay.
You get to create your own, it's called a community. That's what people call it now. You get to create your own community of people that listen to you, that are like devoted to listening to your music, because one way or the other, your music has impacted them. So it shouldn't be a matter of, oh, everybody's now singing. It's about how are you able to manage yourself, get yourself in a position where people would listen to you. What are you offering? Let me use the phrase everybody's using now. What are you bringing to the table? Do you understand? What are you bringing to the table as an artist? Because I feel like, personally, as a musician, I also consume music. Yes, there are so many people out there that sing, but I listen to this person because I like what they're bringing, and I will listen to them every single time they put out music. I don't have to listen to everyone. I just pick. So it's just really giving people options. So at the end of the day, nobody will force you to listen to everybody. You get to pick who you want to listen to, and that's because of what they've done or how they present themselves or their music. So that's it.
Okay, now tell us about your background and how it has actually helped develop your music career.
Okay, so personally, I grew up in Bauchi State. I grew up in the north. I was born and bred up in Bauchi State. I'd always loved music. I think one of the first influence of music for me was a particular CD my mom got. It was called Sing and Play. I was pretty young. So it's called Sing and Play, and I think I started listening from when I was like 3 or thereabouts. And then I would see all these kids that would sing and everything. And I looked at the TV one time and I said, Mommy, I want to sing. I think I was about 3, 4. I want to sing. She's like, cool, sing. And so when I got to like 6, 7, she started to buy me CDs, Celine Dion, Beyonce, Rihanna, all of these people should buy the CDs. People would tell her, oh my God, that's like secular music. Your daughter is going to spoil. She's like, nope, my daughter will not spoil. She'll pick the one she needs to pick and throw the bad one away. And I think that's what really encouraged me to pick up some of the right things, you know, because she trusted me to be able to. She showed me what I needed to do. She was supportive, and she's like, this you can do, but this might harm you. Just make sure you're careful with things you do. So those were the things that inspired me to really want to sing. And I started to sing, and I would be in school, every opportunity to sing. I would like take the mic in church, choir, all of that. So literally, I've always really wanted to do music. Even when I was in uni, there are times when nobody should do this, but then I won't go to class because I'm trying to get to the choir stand to play music and like just have fun and just listen to music, or like, you know, and all of that. And that really made my grades slip, but I had to get back up because I wanted to graduate and be out of school. But at the end of the day, I think my mom really fueling my passion, really supporting me, really telling me I could do it. And then so many other people that I've come across in life that would see me and say, you know what, you have something, I want to support it, just really encouraged me to want to continue in music. So yeah, that's really the story.
All right, now let's talk about the environment. You talk about being grown up in Bauchi.
Yes.
That's sort of a conservative northern state, northern conservative northern environment, and we know how things like this are actually looked at.
Yeah.
Did that hinder you in any way?
Okay, not exactly.
Okay.
Also because Bauchi, yes, the north is conservative, rightly so, but I feel like music is a universal language. Okay. People love sound. People love good music. I mean, I grew up watching Hausa films, and they always have intermissions where they do like music, and then you see like somebody will come and sing something and go away. Music is universal. And when I developed interest in singing, it wasn't just about, I wasn't really looking out to Hollywood glam. Okay. I wasn't looking at, you know, Nollywood glam. I was really focused on music. Okay. So even when I would watch Indian movies for 3 hours and then the music comes up and then they're clothed properly, everything is nice and clean and everything, I enjoyed it. So those are some of the things that fueled my interest. And even when I came out to sing most times, and people, especially in church, I think that was really the foundation for encouragement for me. It's like, you go to church, you want to sing, join the choir and everything. Those really helped. And really growing up in Bauchi really did not do anything to make me feel like, in fact, more than anything, I felt comfortable singing anywhere and everywhere. I had my mom had a salon. And so most times I'm in the salon and I'm singing and I'm all of that. I'll have like maybe some person passing and saying, ah, nice one, you sing well, you sound good, you should probably go to Lagos, you should probably do this or do that. So I don't think, like, yes, the culture is conservative, but I don't think it discourages what is good. And I think music is good. So somehow I never really felt weird or anything.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, would you say people accept your music, and how do you react to, should I say, negative comments about what you do?
Okay. Personally, my music is something that, like I said, is focused on, I really draw inspiration from young people, what I go through, what I feel like most people go through, and then just being able to translate that into lyrics and then sing it out. That's what I do. And so there would definitely be times when you get pushbacks. People would be like, people like, we don't understand where you're headed. I think another thing is, you know, when you grew up in church doing gospel music, like most of your life and everything, and then at some point you're trying to sing about societal things, and then people look at you and they're like, are you going crazy? Are you going? And then you're like, I'm trying to just do like music and everything. I think that's something that, yes, I've had pushback on. But I think another thing is, most times when people push back, you try to make it clear. I don't try to take these things personal. I understand that in their own way, they're trying to look out for me, you know. And so I try to make them understand that, okay, this is what I'm doing, this is what I stand for. I think that's why it's very important to define what you stand for, what you're out here for and everything. And then furthermore, when I get trolled on social media, or maybe somebody comes and says something like, oh, you don't sing well, or you don't sing, because I get this, you sound like a white girl sometimes, or you sound like a type of way in your music. You don't really sound, you know, the black roots and, you know, growling and everything. It's just, what I tell them is, oh, okay, this is why, this is the influences I had growing up, and I love this, and I'm trying to incorporate everything, and this is how I am personally as an artist. So I don't take things personal on social media, because these people don't know me. I don't know them. We're just literally, they're just people that saw what I did, and then they're interested, and then they said their opinion. And that's what really matters. And trust me, for every one negative social media comment, it's like 1,000 more of people saying you're doing well. So sometimes I try to balance that in my head. Oh, one person said they didn't like the way I was saying this, but then there are like 40 other people saying you sang so well. So I try to focus on those rather than the social media trolls and everything. Yeah.
All right. Well, I've waited long enough, but I need to ask this question now.
Okay.
It needs to come up. Really, I've been sitting on it for a very long time, so I need to ask it. How lucrative has music been?
Okay, so the music business is, because I feel like there's music, and there is music business.
Oh, I see.
Yes, a lot of people don't understand that. Like, music is beautiful, you want to sing and everything. Okay, fine. How do you monetize it? Because music is time demanding. Like, music is that person. Permit me to use the word, you're not going to speak to anybody else, just me. It's just going to be me. You're not going to talk to sewing, you're not going to talk to fashion. Okay, maybe you can incorporate fashion, she can be our friend, but you cannot talk to engineering, you cannot talk to, and these are things that originally you're supposed to fetch you money, because you're like, okay, I'm an engineer, I'm a doctor, I'm supposed to, but music is weird, you know, you can't just like make money off your music ASAP if you don't have if you don't understand music business in its own. And a lot of young people, especially, yes, with social media and everything, we really don't understand music business yet. People are still trying to figure it out. There are certain executives, people who have trained in that area, who are specifically like already doing that. That really is easy for them. So that's why I think everybody should have a manager, someone who at least gives you an idea. If you don't have any of these people, do research. Find out how to monetize your music, streaming platforms, all of these things. Put up your music using like distribution companies and all of that. Try to make money off your music. Go for live shows. Try to talk about pricing. There's a way to just bring value into your music. It's not just that you're creating content and you're just out there. There's so many ways to go about it. Music business is lucrative if you finally hit it.
Okay.
If you hit it.
Let's not move away from that.
Oh, yeah, we're not. We're actually not.
Because she hasn't answered the question yet.
Okay.
How lucrative has the music business been for you?
For me, it has been fair.
Okay.
And that's because...
You have a Bentley parked outside?
Yes. I don't. But it's been fair. Okay. Because it's weird. Because like I don't stick to just one thing. Okay, I just want to be an artist. There's so many platforms today where you can make money as a musician, not necessarily as the star. There's so many platforms. You have so many platforms where you could just go register yourself as an artist. Somebody would text you, oh, I want to do a song for this. Can I pay you off? Can you do it? Get it done. If you want music to be the one thing you're doing and you're thinking about sustainability, it's possible. But a lot of people just think it's about the glitz and the glam. I want to
just hold it there, because I was actually going to talk about the glitz and the glam. A lot of people get carried away by that. Right? Have you ever thought about what you would do if music doesn't work for you?
That's the thing. Because I know music is the one thing that I want to do. I do a 9-to-5, by the way.
Okay.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
And my 9-to-5, I'm a singer-songwriter.
Okay. That's a day job.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So music has to work for me, because I'm not just looking forward to the glitz and the glam. I'm looking at what other things can I do in the music industry that can create steady flow of income for me. I'm not making the craziest no. I'm able to take care of so many things. I'm able to take care of my family, I'm able to take care of things. And that's because I'm not just looking at, oh, blow. if I don't blow, I won't make it. No, somebody calls me, says, I want you to write a song for this. I'm going to settle you. That's money coming in. People get to know this person is a songwriter. You can call her to be a ghostwriter for your songs, and then they pay you well. So a lot of people are just depending on when they blow before they're able to make it. No, there's so many platforms, Fiverr, so many platforms you can go on and say, oh, okay, I want to be registered. And you actually make good money from. So it's I want to be in music, and that music has to work for me because I'm not looking at blowing alone, which is, I mean, that's amazing. That's the goal of every artist. But not everybody gets to blow. According to statistics, only 7% of people who go into music end up becoming famous and all of that. Only 7%. If you're not a part of the 7%, if music is the one thing you're gifted at, what are other things you can do in the industry that can get you going? So I think that's really what it is.
Oh, all right. Well, that sounds interesting. Now let's expand it a little bit. Let's move away slightly from you and let's talk about the industry in general now. The Nigerian movie industry, music industry has how do I put it? Has blown.
That's blown. It has blown.
It has this
so
explosion.
Proud.
Yeah, exactly. It's absolutely, Nigerian music is everywhere, and of course the industry is buzzing. You have lots of brilliant people out there, lots of talented people out there, and the rest of it. Do you think, in your own opinion now, as someone who has been in the industry and wants to be, do you think that this level of, how do I put it now, this level of notoriety that Nigerian music has actually gotten can be sustained over a certain period of time?
Okay. I really think so.
Or is this a flash in the pan kind of thing?
That's what it looked like initially. It looked like, oh, everybody, it's a trend. Everybody wants to be a part of the Afro community. Like, oh, this person is featuring foreign artists or whatever. But I think that the people we have currently that are sort of heading these areas, and I'm talking about A-list artists, I think they're doing a great job holding it down. Because so far so good. It's about the quality, what we bring to the table, the quality of what we're bringing. And I can tell you that our people are holding it up there. Wizkid, Davido, the rest of them, like Burna Boy, Oxidate, all of these guys. Because like when you listen to the music, I mean, we're doing a great job. I'm going to give it to us. And so when we're collaborating, people are not listening to the foreigners and saying, oh, they sound good. People are literally saying, oh, we're making this thing sound good. And I think that's where we should be. That's where we should aspire to be, where it's like, okay, we've gotten to this place where everybody's recognized African music and all of that. How are we able to stay? And I think the best way to stay on top is to keep churning out quality work. And I see our people doing that. Like, oh my God, I'm always proud. So I think that's where we are right now.
All right, but are you also of the school of thought that, you know, you have to be in a certain place before you blow, or you have to indulge in certain vices before?
Just say Lagos.
Yes, I understand that.
Just say Lagos.
Relocate to Lagos and all of that. I mean, I think somehow I've touched this like a little, but I think just to shed more light in this particular area, you don't have to, because of social media, because of streaming services and how the world has really, really evolved. Like somebody from Kano or someone from somewhere like maybe remotely, like someone who is in a remote environment can literally become whatever just by posting on TikTok consistently. Just by posting on TikTok. Somebody can just come from nowhere and become something. And we've seen that happen over and over and over. Yes, maybe when you've gotten to this position, because these days you just blow overnight. When you've gotten to this position, somebody can ask, okay, maybe you need to relocate here so that you can be closer to, you know, the social circles that, you know, these things are about. But to say you have to get so attention, or you need to do something in this day and age, I think it still happens, because I mean you can't debate people's experiences. You can't tell them, oh, you're not saying the truth about what you've been through. But I think now more than ever, the power belongs to the people, sort of ish. Like it's more in the hands of people that make you. It's that people that wake up and retweet you. It's people that wake up and repost your videos on social media and everything. At the end of the day, these executives come in to make sure that you know how you're going about your music and making sure that, okay, you're marketed properly and monetized. But to say you have to do something in favor or the other, yes, it's possible. A lot of people go through that. A lot of people, and it's sad. But I think that now we have more power as artists to say, okay, and that's why I tell everyone, try to get leverage, try to have something to hold on to, so that you're not just, I'm just a good singer and I just want to blow. Somebody will tell you to do something and you just misbehave. Like, how about you have numbers, you have something going on for you, and then they now don't have a choice than to say, I want to work with this person. So yeah, it's just about how you go about it.
All right. Well, you talk about surrounding yourself with the right people. having a manager, having an agent, in all that. So do you have like an entourage that handles your business?
Yes, I do.
Really?
I currently have a manager, someone I work with. She's right there.
Okay.
I have a manager. She's amazing, and I think I think it's just really important to have people around you, the right people. Just make good choices, because people make like what you're going, and just really have someone who understands your vision. It might not be all that. It might not be great. It might not be big, but just have some people around you. And then the truth is, these people will show up, especially if you're doing the right thing. If you're in music and then you're trying to be in music and then you're not really doing the music well, people will be like, okay, I don't want to be associated with this brand. But if you have something to offer, something to bring to the table, people would always, want to be around you, and it's very important.
Right now, you're doing your thing, you're on your own.
Yes.
Now, would you rather be signed to a music label?
It depends. It depends. As an artist currently, being signed to a label looks nice. It's lucrative. Like it's proper.
But on paper,
you get it's really great and everything. If I get the opportunity, I would definitely want to consider the option. Just look at it and see how it favors me as an artist. And that's why, like you said, having a team is important. You have a lawyer, someone to look through these contracts and does this work for you? Does this not work for you as a person? So it's very important. And those are some of the things that I think it's key for any artist. Have a team, but being signed to a record label, I feel like it works. It's still working. I mean, it's always going to work, but it's just that record labels evolve, but it's always going to work. That's what I think.
I think that's the ultimate goal
That's
when you look at it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's still Daybreak Extra on Trust TV. We're talking to Vicky, who sings. And of course, we're getting insights into the Nigerian music industry. We'll take a short break right now, and when we return, the conversation continues. Just stay with us.
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
MacRock Productions.
Everybody's got a story of how they started in life. I've never seen any hero who started from nowhere. Come, it's me, excuse me, even Jesus was a carpenter. 1, 2, 3, stop, start from somewhere. Don't you ever wait for men, cause they got nothing to give. Remember to slow down, no food for a lazy man. Do what you can do, God concludes the rest. God knows what you need, all you gotta do believe. Do it, no matter how hard. Start it, no matter how small. Before you know, everything gon' make sense. Cause if you do it now, you would not regret it. Now so you be, now so you be, oh. Now so you be, now Face down, hands up, I can see through these ashes. I'm broken, beyond repair, with no one else to love me. But there's not a time I'm not in your mind. Every step I take you right there. You never leave me alone. I gotta believe the truth about me. Your love is stronger, I can deny you. Whisper to me, shoulder, baby, I can be your shoulder. Even in the midst of chaos, never gonna let you go. Stronger, baby, you are gonna be stronger. Even when you go through fire, never gonna let you go. I'm never gonna let you go. I'm never gonna let you go. Like a waterfall, your love glides down and cuts through my defenses. No, there's nowhere I'm letting go. I know fit run from you. 'Cause there's not a time I'm not in your mind. Every step I take are right there. You never leave me alone. I gotta believe the truth about me. Your love is stronger, I can deny you. Whisper to me, shoulder, baby, I can be your shoulder. Even in the midst of chaos, never gonna let you go. Stronger, baby, you are gonna be stronger. Even when you go through fire, never gonna let you go. I'm 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 never gonna let you go. Yeah. Shoulder, baby, I could be your shoulder. Even in the midst of chaos, never gonna let you go.
All right, welcome back and thanks for staying with us. That was the Viquesings, and very, very interesting songs. You know, the first one was Naso Ibi, and the second one,
Never Let You Go.
Never Let You Go.
Yeah.
Really interesting songs.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant and fantastic voice as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's Naso Ibi.
Yes, Naso Ibi.
What's the motivation behind that?
Naso Ibi just happened. I think that was a couple years back. I was just like, oh, you know what? I just want to do a song, a feel-good song.
Okay.
A feel-good song.
Yeah, it does have a feel-good factor to it.
A feel-good song, just something to inspire people and just like have fun. I was still experimenting with my sound as at that time, so it was just really like, okay, let's see how we can like what I talked about, the fusion thing. Let's see how we could incorporate all of that and everything. And that's why it came up. I was just like, you know what? I'm having a crazy day. I think I was in a car or something, and then the car, it was at night, and then the tire got spoiled or something, and I was really like, oh my gosh, we're going to have to fix this and all of that. And somehow the melody just came to my head, like, nah, sorry, like life is crazy. Everybody just got a story of how they started it in life, just really talking about general stuff. And I called my producer back then. I was like, hey, Mark Rock, I have this song for you. What do you think about it? He was like, let me hear it. He was like, let me hear it. And then I sent it to him, and then he listened, and he's like, this is nice. So we decided to just like work with it.
All right.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. All right. So the second song sounds kind of personal.
Yeah, it is personal. It is personal. I wrote it for my sister. You know, just generally to just everyone else who has a struggle or something that they're going through, be it cystic acne, be it like not being able to do what they feel like, imposter syndrome, just whatever it is that, you know, you struggle with personally that you feel like is a limiting factor to your life and how you're moving forward, just to know that you're not alone and I'll never let you go. Just more like whatever it is, just know that you're not alone. And there are people who would always be there, and then there's God, I got you. Just whatever it is that you're looking into.
I think we need that every once in a while. I mean, like you need somebody to actually tell you that. I mean, like I got you, and and like mean it.
Yes, it's very important. I kind of highlighted that in my latest album. I released an album in this year. I think it was around June or thereabouts. I released an album, just recently, not too long ago. And the album, the name of the album is 20 something.
Okay.
Yes, it's just like for the 20 something year old. It just really focuses on.
Really?
Yeah, for everyone.
Really?
Well, I'm in my 20s.
That's ageism.
No, that's not ageism. I'm in my 20s.
I mean, like old folks like me can't vibe to it.
No, that's not what I mean.
Okay.
Definitely. Funny thing is, I have a lot of older folks that call and then they go, that album should not be called 20 something. That should be every age is something like that, Sha. Because it's like just highlighting the struggles of the youth, the Nigerian youth, the global youth, and I really focused on that. And I tried to just use my experience as a mirror, but more than ever, just look at my friends and people around me. And so when we brought up 20 something, the testimonies have been amazing. People come around and say this song, one thing or the other. Unfortunately, we don't have visuals for some of the songs yet, but it's something we're working towards, and hopefully visuals will be available for 20 something. But it's on all the streaming platforms, Apple Music, Spotify, everywhere. Just search Vicky.
Okay, so just go and search for Vicky.
Vicky, Vique, and then you just find the album is called 20 something, and then I have a couple singles out there too, and yeah.
You need to specify that it's Vicky and not Vique.
It's Vicky, it's not Vique.
It's not voice, now. It's not voice command. If you're reading voice command and you go and say Vique, then that's a problem.
All right, but then, you know, a lot of people seem to think, you know, joining singing competitions like, you know, The Voice, So You Think You Can Sing
Nigerian
or
Idol.
something, Nigerian Idol, you know, it's an easy way to put yourself out there. Have you tried any of those?
Okay, so as someone who has like phobia and for certain things, I don't know why competitions terrify me, but I think it's very important to put yourself out there every opportunity you get as an artist, and it's something I should probably, you know, look into at some point, you know, in my career. But I think for me personally, because of the phobia, and I really don't like to put myself, and I think it had a lot to do with like growing up, being in certain society or organizations or places where people just compare. So comparison kind of breeds envy, and so I try to avoid any situation that will put me in a position where I feel weird about something, because I really genuinely truly love people. I truly love people, and I don't want to put myself in positions where, but as an artist, I had to learn to understand that it doesn't have to be negative. Competition can be healthy. Competition can be healthy. So it's a whole process of reworking my mind and trying to get my mind to see that, okay, you don't have to see it this way because maybe something had happened growing up or whatever that's put you in position to think that people are pitting you against each other. Meanwhile, you can actually be in healthy competition.
Exactly.
So hopefully,
maybe you should look at it. Put it on your bucket list.
Yes, I think
you understand. Audition
list.
For one of these.
Yeah.
All right, that's absolutely fantastic. Vicky, has been absolutely amazing talking to you
Thank
today.
You for having me.
It's been great, and we hope to have you again.
Thank you.
Hopefully by that time.
You would have blown.
Yes, amen.
But don't forget us.
Yes, of course.
Do not forget us.
Why would I do that?
All right, so it's still Daybreak Extra on Trust TV. We'll take a short break, and when we return, the show continues. Stay with us.
That's great. It's good to see you.
TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
All right, welcome back. You're still watching Daybreak Extra on Trust TV, and we are about to wrap up the show, but we have a few entertainment stories to actually discuss with you. And we'll start with a clergyman who's actually specifically talking to, divorcees not to advise single ladies not to respect marriage, because if you go out today, you'd find a lot of women, a lot of men leaving their marriages, and while the single ladies, right? While the single ladies want to be married, they're dreaming of being married, of the day where they would actually, become mothers and wives and everything.
Yes, of course.
But you have these, divorcees who have actually gone into marriage, not enjoyed it for one reason or the other,
and
come out and tell them, not to respect the institution of marriage. Tell them, a lot of things, about marriage, a lot of negative things.
Exactly.
It's this, it's that.
But it is actually true. They went into it. They didn't find it funny, so they come outside. Definitely, whatever is this going to go on to tell you is going to be slanted, And you, as a single person, if you listen to them and then you already have a mindset even before you go into the marriage institution, and definitely there's going to be problems somewhere.
It's actually worse, when you have so many people around you as a single person who have actually left their marriages, who have broken marriages.
Exactly.
And then, start thinking about it. This is something I want to go into. And if these people can't even stay in their marriages, why do I need to get married?
Exactly. And of course, that is what they will preach. Those people that actually went in there, didn't find it funny, came out. But that's exactly what they will preach for all of those people who actually could not make it. There are tons of others who actually make it and are making it.
And marriage can be a beautiful thing as well.
It could be a beautiful thing.
It has its ups and downs.
Of course, it's not all doom, but it's not all doom and gloom at the same time. You understand? It's not rosy. Any married person is going to tell you that it's not rosy all the way. There's going to be serious issues, serious pitfalls. But how you navigate them, how you navigate through them, how you keep it together, that is what makes it all worthwhile at the end of the day, because we have lots and lots of them, and they're there. They're still going strong. We have people married for 30, 40 years, still keeping it real.
Sure.
Understand.
All right, let's move on to the next story. A man has allegedly been sentenced to life imprisonment for killing his 21-year-old girlfriend for aborting their child. That reminds me of a story I saw, recently, where a man took his girlfriend to court because she aborted their child without his permission. Apparently, it's a crime, and a lot of people don't even know about that. Yes. So you need the permission of the man before any of that happens.
Of course, because it's his child as well.
Exactly. So, you know, this particular man killed his 21-year-old girlfriend for aborting their unborn child.
But that doesn't
make sense.
Exactly, it doesn't make sense. I mean,
You've
like,
lost the child,
she killed
you've
the
lost
child,
the girlfriend.
you killed the girlfriend, and now you're in prison because he's
Exactly.
been charged with murder. You understand? And he's there. You're in prison. The wife, the girl, and the child are both dead. So that's like 3 lives wasted.
Exactly.
You know, absolutely wasted. I mean, it's really not the solution. Yes, she didn't do the right thing. She should have consulted him. She should have had his consent before she did that. But there's no excuse for taking somebody else's life. You understand? There's really none. So.
Well, you know, I think the reason why a lot of women do not feel, you know, the men need or have a say in, especially if they're not married, is, okay, one, the fact that they're not married. And another thing is most of these men, you know, when you tell them that you're pregnant or, you know, you're about to have a baby, and they don't want to take responsibility.
Yeah, well, the thing is, those ones who don't want to take responsibility are the ones that actually make the ladies to have the abortions. You understand? They tell you to go and get rid of it, or outrightly deny that they are actually the fathers of those babies. But this one, actually, I think he wants it. He wanted the child. He wanted to take responsibility for the child. He knew the child was his. And that was why I think he went haywire when she aborted the child, because it was something that he actually wanted. But still, there's no excuse for taking somebody's life, really. Because right now, just like I said, 3 lives wasted.
3 lives wasted completely. All right, well, with that, we've come to the end of Daybreak Extra on Trust TV. We had an absolutely
amazing time.
It was. I wish it didn't have to end.
Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
All right, then we'll be back again next week, same time, same station, only on Trust TV. I'm Dasha and Husseina Usman. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend.
Yes, let's do it all again next week. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.